Hi there, my name is Erin DeLathauer and I work in the College of Arts and Science at the University of Saskatchewan. I'm making this little video to help new students to navigate the digital landscape that is the University of Saskatchewan. You'll probably be familiar at least a little bit with PAUSE at this stage. You will be accessing PAUSE in order to view your email and calendar, in order to register for classes, in order to search for classes. But there's another resource that's also very, very important, which is the course and program catalog. So I'm going to begin by just taking you on a little tour of the course and program catalog. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the course and program catalog. To find the course and program catalog, you're first going to want to type in programs.usas.ca in the browser that you're using, and then you'll look at colleges and schools. Here you'll find a list of all of the colleges and schools available at the University of Saskatchewan, and because you're an arts and science student, you'll click on the College of Arts and Science. Here you'll see two options, either the academic policies or the program list. Let's click on policies for a second. This is where you're going to find all of the academic policies that are going to be relevant to you. And it's important to know that these exist. I won't go through all of them, but if you have a question, it might be answered by just looking at the academic policies page. For example, maybe you have a question about the honors program or about promotion standards. Here you'll see that on your first 18 to 30 credit units in arts and science, you need to have at least a 56% average in order to move on to second year, and that average increases as you go on through the years to complete your degree. So every college is going to have a different set of academic policies, and this is where you'll find the policies for the College of Arts and Science. If you look at the program list, it's long. There are all of the different programs, including certificates and minors and all of the different majors that you can choose from in the College of Arts and Science listed here. So let's choose chemistry. Maybe you're interested in majoring in chemistry. You can click on this and read a little bit about chemistry. You can see what the residency requirements will be. So that just means the number of classes you have to take from the U of S in order to graduate with a degree from the U of S. Some students will have transfer credits from other institutions. You'll also see a list of the programs, and you'll see there's quite a few. Let's click on the Bachelor of Science 4-year. Here you'll note that on the left-hand side there are 5 categories of requirements. These are going to look pretty much the same for most arts and science degrees. There's the college requirement, the breadth requirement, the cognate requirement, the major requirement, and the electives requirement. Starting at the top, the college requirement for a chemistry major is going to be 15 credit units. So that's going to include 6 credit units of English language writing. It's going to include 3 credit units of Indigenous learning, and it's going to include 6 credit units of Quantitative Reasoning. It'll be a little bit different for each major, but in general, the English language writing, the Indigenous learning, and the Quantitative Reasoning requirements will all need to be fulfilled one way or another. In the case of chemistry, you can choose 6 credit units of English language writing, and you can do so by choosing one class. If you choose a 6 credit unit class like English 110.6, the 0.6 means that it's a 6 credit unit class, which also means that it runs from term 1 all the way through to the end of term 2. So it starts in September and ends in April. And that would be your 6 credit units of English language writing. Alternatively, you might choose 2 3 credit unit classes. Maybe History Matters, Science and Environment. That could be relevant to a chemistry major. Next, let's look at the Indigenous learning requirement. You'll need 3 credit units. This is a long list, but one thing I want to point out is that there are only a few classes, Drama 111, History 195, Indigenous Studies 107 that are 100 level courses. That is to say, these are classes you can take in your first year. If you want to take your Indigenous learning requirement later in your degree, you might choose something like Political Studies 222. If you click on that, I just want to point out that there are prerequisites for that class. One of the prerequisites is 60 credit units at the university level. So you could take this class in your third year, assuming you have 60 credit units, even if you haven't taken a political studies course before, and that would work towards your Indigenous learning requirement. For the quantitative reasoning requirement for a chemistry major, it's 6 credit units of calculus. Can't avoid calculus in this case. That said, for other degrees, for other programs, the quantitative requirement will look very different. Now for the breadth requirement. Here, you're asked to complete 9 credit units in the following areas with at least 3 credit units, so at least one class from either the humanities or the social sciences. So in addition to those 3 credit units from either the humanities or the social sciences, you would take 6 more credit units from any one of these areas. So maybe you want to take a painting class. That's possible. There's a 6 credit unit painting class. You can actually look at one of this old syllabus for this class. Every syllabus will be a little bit different, but if you want to get an idea of kind of the workload for the class, you can have a look at an old syllabus and see what the outline is like. Here you'll see the objectives of the class. You'll see how the class is going to be evaluated, 90% on the portfolio. You'll see all of the different modules, etc. Okay, Cognate Requirement. In this case, it's 15 credit units, and this is to give you the background science needed to go on to be a major in chemistry. So the Cognate Requirement is going to look very different for a history major than it would for a chemistry major. But nevertheless, in this case, you'll need to have your physics 115 and 117. In addition, you'll need to have 3 credit units from one of the following science areas, either biology, computer science, or the earth sciences, plus Biomedical Sciences 200, which is a biomolecules class, and another math, stats, or computer science class, math or stats class. Now on to the major requirements. In this case, you'll need 48 credit units total. But what I want to point out here is that there are only 2 classes, 6 credit units of 100 level chemistry. So the major requirements that you'd be completing in your first year would only include 6 credit units. So you have lots of room to explore and take other classes. Your elective requirements for this degree are 33 credit units of anything. So that means that you have lots of room to explore. You have lots of room to add a minor or a certificate. And it also means that it's pretty hard to make a mistake in your first year because no matter what classes you take, they're all going to work towards your degree. And that's the case for most degrees. In arts and science. Let's look at one more program just to demonstrate that further. Let's look at political studies. So here it's going to look pretty similar, except that there will be a bit more information about other programs that are related and certificates. Here's the list of programs. Let's look at the 3-year in this case, the Bachelor of Arts 3-year. Again, you'll see that there are 5 categories of requirements: college, breadth, cognate, major, and electives. But here you'll see that the college requirement is only 3 credit units. And that's because, in this case, English language writing and Indigenous learning are both embedded in the major requirements for political studies. In addition, there's a bit of a difference with the quantitative reasoning requirement as well. First of all, it's only 3 credit units for a political studies major, and it could include any one of these classes. There are some statistics classes, there are some math classes, there's this quantitative reasoning class, which is new this year. It's an excellent course, really hands-on, real-world, case studies based. It helps with reasoning statistically. Next, we're going to look at the breadth requirement. In this case, for political studies, they're looking for 21 credit units And it's a bit different than the breadth requirements for the chemistry major. Here, the expectation is that you'll have 6 credit units from the humanities, 6 credit units from the languages, and there are lots of languages to choose from. I'll just note that, including Sanskrit, and 3 credit units from the sciences, plus 6 credit units from any area that is not social science. The reason why social sciences don't show up here is because political studies is a social science, and this is the breadth requirement. Under the Cognate Requirement, you'll notice that there are 6 credit units required of additional social science courses. Moving on to the major requirement, I'll just point out again that this is a 3-year degree that we're looking at, so a 90 credit unit degree. And in this case, the major requirements are a full third of that degree. Again, there are only 6 credit units required at the 100 level, so at the first year level. So even if you're just kind of thinking about majoring in political studies, you'll probably want to take at least 1, if not 2, first year classes in political studies, or in this case, international studies. Lastly, I want to point out the electives. Again, 30 credit units, so a full third of this 3-year degree is dedicated to elective space, which is great. Gives you lots of room to choose a certificate to go alongside, or a minor, or just explore an interest that isn't political studies. You can also take more political studies courses if that's what you'd like to do. So the only other thing I'd like to really stress here is that when you're looking at programs, first of all, look at a bunch of different programs. Look at how they're structured. They're all pretty similar in that they have these 5 different categories. But also think about how it's important to take these things not in the order in which they're presented. This isn't linear, right? But take things that would fulfill breadth requirements, college requirements, cognate requirements, perhaps, elective requirements in your first year. Take a broad range of classes. That way, if you haven't decided on your major, or if you're leaving yourself a little bit of room to change your mind on your major, you'll be able to do that. I always encourage first-year students to just take this time at the beginning to explore different programs and explore different interests and read about courses and look at syllabi and make decisions based on what looks exciting to you.
So the main message here is that it's important to choose classes that are interesting to you and not to worry too much about getting the classes that you need to complete degree requirements. Pretty much any course you take is going to complete some degree requirement in arts and science for pretty much any degree. So first year is all about exploring your options. Of course, some of you are probably looking at getting certain requirements for getting into a specific professional college. Some of you already know exactly what your major is going to be, and you're looking to complete requirements for that degree program. In any case, you're still going to have a lot of room to explore certificates and minors and electives. So, make sure that you're choosing classes that look appealing to you, because typically when you're taking a class that's interesting, you tend to do much better in that class than if you're taking something that is not interesting at all to you. So, I would encourage students to meet with an academic advisor as well. Academic advisors are there for you to talk through ideas with, to get a sense for the order in which you should take classes, so that you have the prerequisites you need to take classes in your upper years. They're there to help kind of keep you on track with your progress towards your degree. So to access an academic advisor in the College of Arts and Science, you can do so by calling or emailing the undergraduate student office. The number and the email address is here on the screen. Likewise, there's the Trish Montier Center for Student Success, or the TMC. You can access advisors there who work specifically with the transition program and with Indigenous students. Next, I want to take you through just briefly one aspect of PAWS that you might not already be familiar with. If you're an arts and science student, you will be subscribed to the Arts and Science channel on PAWS. It will appear on the left-hand side of your PAWS when you log in. When you click on that Arts and Science channel, you will see that there are a few tabs at the top, but under Academics and Advising on the far left, you'll see an area called Student Academic Services, where you can verify or set your major and degree program. Here is something that you might consider doing after you've registered in your classes. Even if you're not 100% certain about the major that you want to pursue, it's still kind of a good idea to choose a major and declare it, even if you're going to change your mind. And you can change your mind as many times as you want. The reason why it might be helpful to choose a major now is because once you've done so, once you've declared a major, you will be automatically eligible for certain awards that only majors in that discipline are eligible for. You will also be notified of any special events or special guest lectures or any kind of thing that's going on that's specific to that discipline that you're interested in majoring in. And so it can be a really great way to get to know your community, your student society, your professors, and just to get to know the discipline from that perspective. Lastly, I just want to draw everyone's attention to the page that you'll go to for basically anything else that you need help with as a new student. If you go to students.usask.ca, you will find all kinds of information, including videos on how to search for classes and register for classes. You will find information on learning communities and transitioning to the university. Basically, any other questions you might have, you'll be able to find information there. You'll also find information about our upcoming UStart sessions. And if you've missed any of those sessions, hopefully you will instead be watching these videos. Welcome again to the College of Arts and Science. We look forward to seeing you in person very soon.